Hello Blazers, it is your boy Roman, your favorite neighborhood Russian. Hi guys, doing today? Welcome to a brand new video. In today's video guys, I wanted to talk about perhaps the weirdest scam I've ever heard of in Russia. What I'm going to be talking about today is not like brand new, it's been going on for about a year now, but it's still very much relevant because it's still happening and people are still getting tricked and people are still getting ripped off. And in fact, for some of you guys that are planning to come to Russia in the future or visit Russia, watching this video might actually be helpful to know what to avoid in the future. So let's get into it. The scam that we're going to be talking about today takes place in the Russian city of St. Petersburg, which is a city that is basically Russia's second biggest city. It's Russia's second capital. It used to be the capital of Russia before the Soviet Union. It's Russia's like most Europeanized city. It's very beautiful with a huge historical center of art and culture, and it is very popular with foreign tourists actually. I mean, that is basically the usual route for most people that are visiting Russia. They first go to Moscow and then they usually go to St. Petersburg. Well, here's the thing. There's this street called Nevsky Prospekt, which is like one of the biggest attractions, one of the biggest places of interest. A big street right in the historical center of the city, has a ton of cathedrals, museums, historical buildings. I don't know what to compare it to. It's like Broadway or Las Vegas Strip without the cocaine. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that literally every tourist will visit the streets. If you are visiting St. Petersburg, you are sure to be walking down that street. It's like on the bucket list. And well, the problem is that there's a certain company, a certain plague, I would say, that keeps bothering everybody and basically just ruins the streets for everybody and just ruins the experience for everyone. Harasses people, scams them, and sometimes even attacks them and harms them. So what is this mystical company that is ruining the city center of St. Petersburg? It's a little tea shop. Yes, you guys heard me right. A little tea shop, an innocent tea shop in the center of the city, is harassing and ruining the city for everybody. Okay guys, I have to intercut here for a little bit because I have to promote something, actually promote myself. I'm once again asking you guys to buy my U2s. U2s are these little YouTube figurines that you can buy for yourself as a little souvenir and also to support your favorite creators. It's a nice little figurine that I designed myself basically, so buying it basically gets you like a little decor toy and also supports me. So if you guys want to get yourself one, they offer free worldwide shipping, so just go to the link down in the description and get it. Now let's get back to the video. So what's going on is that there's this little tea shop in the center of the St. Petersburg called Han Tea or Hangetsu Tea, and it's supposed to be like a tea shop that sells like rare and import teas from like China or India or whatever, you know, stuff for some real connoisseurs. And it seems innocent enough, right? But the problem is that the tea store actually hires and puts up like promoters or people that are supposed to call people in and basically lead them to the tea store on the street called Nevsky Prospekt that we just talked about. And you know, it's fine, it's just a promoter that's gonna come up to you and ask you about if you want to try some tea or whatever, right? It's not a big deal, right? Well, yes, it's not a big deal when the promoters don't act like literal gopniks and beat people up if they don't want to go with them and try their tea. And by the way, if they go and do try their tea to the tea store, they get scammed. Because the promoters that invite people to the tea store literally tell them that they can try any type of tea for free, and if they don't like it, they don't have to pay or anything. But what really happens is that when people actually come into the store and they try a little sip of tea, suddenly they owe 2,000 rubles or so to the people in the store. That's ridiculous, okay, but we'll get back to that later. Right now, let's talk about the way those promoters behave. First of all, the physical assault aside, which we're going to be talking about next, just the sheer amount of these promoters on the streets of Nevsky Prospekt is ridiculous.
Подождите.
Здравствуйте, секунду, один вопрос, вы чай пьете?
Здравствуйте, постойте секундочку, пожалуйста.
Здравствуйте, маленький вопрос, а вы чай пьете хотя бы иногда?
Да, ну ладно.
It's ridiculous. It's like every 2 meters there's some fucker that is asking you about tea. Well, here's the motherfucking tea. Nobody likes you. It's totally fine when there's like one promoter, right? But when there's so much of them that they literally try to all like gang up on you and encircle you, because that's what they're doing, that is not coming up to you and asking you if you'd like some tea. That is assault. That is like, you're being constrained at that point. They're trying to lock you up, to like drag you to the store essentially, and that's what they're literally doing. Let's just hear out some stories from the people that actually experienced and contacted these promoters firsthand.
Стояла группа молодых людей, и один начал двигаться в мою сторону, прижал меня буквально к стене дома. начал останавливать, хватать меня за руки, за одежду, за наушники даже пытался меня вытащить из ушей.
So yeah, that's literally what they do, and I've read a ton of comments online of people saying the same things, of people that live in St. Petersburg who are walking every day maybe, or sometimes through that streets, and that's what they do. They try to literally like put you up to a wall, they try to encircle you, they grab you by everything. They could grab you by your head, they could grab you by your arms, grab you by your hands, by your headphones, anything, just to try to stop you. So the issue is not only that they take you into the shop and then scam you there, the issue is that you literally get assaulted. Now this is just the beginning though, because actually all of these news stories that, because what we were just looking at right now is actually a news story, this was actually on the news, so this is like a big topic, this is a big deal in Russia. I mean, who cares, right? People get assaulted in Russia every day, gopniks are everywhere, right? People get like their face caved in for because they don't have a cigarette to lend or whatever, and nobody gives a crap, right? But here people started caring about this when one of the promoters broke a nose of a passerby that didn't want to buy some tea.
По словам пострадавшего, он чаю не хотел. Из-за этого у него отобрали скейт и недолго не отдавали.
Прошу девушку слезть с доски. Она как бы просто игнорирует мою просьбу. Потом ее просит мой друг. Она, то есть, продолжает стоять на скейте в это время. Толкаю доску ногой из-под нее. Она падает на бедро. И когда я нагибаюсь доску поднять, она бьет меня ногой в лицо.
Парень так напуган, что согласился общаться с нами только по телефону. Говорит, множество угроз поступает из этого чайного подвальчика.
It's ridiculous! Great business, guys. That is definitely gonna convince people to buy your tea. And this is not the only time either when people that work as promoters in this tea store have got into some fights. So for example, there's been a story where some people, like some artists, were selling their paintings on the streets of Nevsky Prospect, and they're just sitting there minding their business or whatever, and apparently one of the artists that was selling the paintings had said something to one of these promoters who was like, again, grabbing people, assaulting people, whatever, being a dick. And this started a verbal fight, which then escalated to a fist fight. And basically the entirety of this squad of these promoters have come in and basically started like a 10 people fight in the center of the city. So this just kind of shows you what kind of people they hire as these promoters. Like, the thing with this tea shop is that, as far as I've done research, it's literally owned by the people of my age. So like, the people that own this shop, they're like all like 22, 23 tops. And I think they're doing pretty illegal stuff as well. For example, as far as I understand, they actually hire underage people. And I know in Russia you can technically hire underage people for some jobs, but I don't know. It really just seems shady to me. I don't know if it's legal or not, but basically they just hire people that are very desperate for money. So they hire like sometimes people that are still in school, they hire like, you know, freshman year students, people that are very desperate for money, and they also hire people like young guys with tattoos on their face, you know, like tattoo on your face, you're never gonna get hired elsewhere. Basically they literally hire literal gopniks. Like, just looking at it, it's just insane. Like, what kind of person would assault another person like that? I understand you're like eager to make money or whatever, right? I understand that, you know, the more people you kind of bring into the store, the more you get paid or whatever. But like literally assaulting people and also like beating them up and actually getting into fights, that just shows that the people that decide to work in that tea shop are just like, they're literal gopniks. There's no other way to put it. And you guys might be asking a warranted question right now. Okay, this is cool, but so what is the police doing? Surely the police has got to be looking after this and not letting people get assaulted, you know? Surely the police must have cracked down on this tea shop in some sort of way and stopped them. Well, no. They haven't. Okay, there's been one case when people that work as promoters in this tea shop have actually been arrested, and there's actually been a news story about it as well. Like a bunch of them, like 10 of them got arrested basically. What happened is actually when they got arrested, many people were thinking that yes, like finally the police are starting to work on this case, and like finally, you know, these gopniks are gonna be off the streets of St. Petersburg, off the main central streets, and people were hoping there's actually gonna be like a police investigation now in this shop that, you know, is basically fraud. But the truth is that no, it was a one-time thing, because what happened actually is that a bunch of guys, I think about 10 people, I don't know who the guys were, but they're absolute legends. Basically, they came over and they came to the streets of Nevsky Prospect, and they decided to have a talk with the promoters, have a talk with them, and try to understand their ways and why they act like that, and maybe try to bring them back to their senses in a way. And as you guys know, these promoters being gopniks, what happened is that like 20 people fight broke out on the streets, and the cops had will swarm in and basically just arrest everybody. So that's what happened. It's like a one-time thing. The police really is not doing shit, and like the store is still operating to this very day. As I'm speaking right now, it's still operating. This stuff is still going on and people are still getting ripped off, assaulted in the middle of the city and scammed. Now here's the thing, these promoters they hire, most of them obviously only target Russians, but even if you're like a foreign tourist, you might still get your shit grabbed, you know, they might try to take your possessions or whatever. So I highly doubt that the people that work there speak English. So if you're a foreigner, they probably might try to like stop you, but then once they realize you don't speak English, they might like, you know, let you go. But you know, thank God they don't know English though, because like imagine if they had with the man of my powers within them, then would be in serious trouble. Okay, so we've talked about the assaults, the fights, and everything that is going on that is just insane. Now let's actually talk about what is going on in the store. What is this scam about? So like I already mentioned, the entire idea is that the promoter tries as hard as possible to bring you inside the shop with them. And if you do agree, because these promoters are very what's the word? Persuasive. That's it. That's the word. Because they're very persuasive, you might agree and you might be like, okay, you want whatever, I'll try some tea. I'll try a sip of tea. Nothing's gonna happen to me. And once again, what happens is that they bring you in and they might actually give you some tea to try. And what they say next is that you have to buy some tea. They basically start saying stuff like, you know, if you want to get out of here, like, according to our rules or whatever, if you tried, now you owe us money and you have to buy like a whole set of this tea or whatever. That's worth like 2,000 rubles, which is crazy. And if you don't agree, I mean, they basically threaten you, or they just start speaking to you in like a very bad, condescending, like angry tone, and they just try their hardest to like basically outplay you and like make you buy it, so that basically they just calm down and like stop bothering you, I guess. Well, obviously they not literally like restraining you in the store or anything, but you can like run out any second technically. But still, this is a scam, you know. Just because you tried something that was promised to be free does not mean that now you legally are basically obliged to buy it. Also, the thing is that like the tea that they sell is not even legit either. Actually, the people that used to work in the shop who anonymously talks about their experience working there, they said that some of the tea was actually bought in regular stores like Auchan, just basically any regular grocery store. And what they do is that they just buy like the cheapest regular ass tea for like 100 rubles in a grocery store, and then they try to sell that same tea by scamming you for 2,000 rubles. I mean, the profits are just insane. It's a great business, you know, epic. And basically what's going on right now is that, well, the shop is still very much active. They're still very much open, and the promoters are still out there on the Nevsky Prospect streets assaulting people and scamming them. Actually, a lot of people tried to contact the police about this. People actually reported the store to the police multiple times, and according to some people that actually know the law and lawyers, apparently like there's not enough that the store does that could be considered illegal or whatever, or just the police for some reason does not want to deal with it. Maybe perhaps the store has some connection with the police or something like that. I mean, I don't know. It just seems really weird to me that the police doesn't want to do anything and investigate the store whatsoever and what their practices are. Because basically they've been working like this, assaulting people in the streets for 1.5 years now or so. And it's still very much active today and still very much operating and selling that great tea to the people of St. Petersburg. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, I wanted to make this video as a warning to some of you guys who are planning to travel to Russia, because I know a lot of my subscribers are like always asking about traveling to Russia. If you guys are gonna be walking down in St. Petersburg on the Nevsky Prospect streets, make sure to look out for these motherfuckers. Don't stop. Just walk past, I don't know, tell them Bafanculo, whatever, I don't know. That's what people told me to say to scammers in Italy. And yeah guys, that is going to be pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys did, please make sure to slap the like button. And as well guys, if you want to support my channel, make sure to go over to the link down in the description to my Patreon. Donate to it, I would gladly appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. And another way to support me guys is buying YouTubes, which is like a little figurine that you can buy of me, you know, as a little souvenir for yourself, and also as the way to support me, your favorite creator. So yeah guys, that's going to be pretty much it for today's video. Now we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.